Welcome. This is season 2 of the Empower Healing Circle podcast. And to our new listeners, welcome to our corner of the internet. For those who aren't new but true, thanks for listening and welcome back. I am Lauren Zakia.
I'm Desiree.
And I'm E. Nicole.
And we are faculty and fellows at Empower Institute, a center for community healing and optimal living. This season, we will be discussing healing, how we define it, its importance, and various intersections. So circle up. It's time to heal, y'all.
Healing comes in waves, and maybe today the wave hits the rocks, and that's okay. That's okay, darling. You are still healing. You are still healing. This is a poem by acclaimed poet from Nigeria, Ijeoma Ubeneyo. It's from her book, Questions for Ada. In it, she describes how healing is not static, but an ever-evolving thing that we do. Healing is an action word. In recognizing this, our first question for discussion is, how did you come to this healing work?
Good question. And great piece. Quote from that poem. I love it. How did you come to this healing work? You know, flat answer is from needing to be healed. From experiencing certain things throughout life. Everything from the societal isms collectively. To then also coming from a family of healers as well. So being introduced to people who were definitely very much so involved in the community, a lot in the education, like community education field, as well as around actual medicine. And so I think having direct, adult role models who were caring for the well-being of others, and that constantly being right there with that first-hand exposure was definitely a huge driving force.
I would say healing work found me. I knew what I liked to do and the type of people I like to be around, but I never, and still struggle with calling myself a healer, but I know the value that I bring to situations, and for some people, that is a form of healing. So I would say that I just kind of stumbled upon it.
Yeah, I didn't recognize what I was doing as healing work. I responded to what I believe to be a call to ministry when I was 20. So I, went through ordination, licensing and things like that, helped to plant a church, but didn't see any of that as healing until maybe a second wave where I sensed a deeper call to the work and found a community of people to support that vision. And here we are, all are, and we're healers.
Yeah, that's real. I actually want to, you said waves, and just in quoting this poem again, healing comes in waves, and maybe today the waves hits the rocks, and that's okay.
That is okay.
So I thought about what you were saying, and I realized that, a girlfriend here had already said it. And then it made me think about how, now especially being here at Empower Institute, how it's like I have finally found like my family in healing. Of course we have extended family members, but at different times it's looking like in certain places and like getting me to that next stage, that next wave. And then you find people, then it works then, and then when you start like continuing to grow, then you just need to keep on journeying down that path. And so I've been really thankful for this wave, and it's like, so how did I come to this healing work, or this stage, is really through the connection of the Institute, and being with people who accept like me as a whole, and allow me and invite my liberation, and for me to define it, instead of coming to a space where I am already defined, and that's really, really key.
Yeah, that definitely speaks to mine. Like, before the first wave for me in ministry, there were parameters around what it meant to be in that role. And as the second wave came, I sensed there was something different or maybe broader, but I did not have a definition for it, and I didn't have the framework around it. But this place gave way for me to explore what it is my soul, my heart, my spirit was calling, and I was able to construct the work because of that. So that's good.
I think you both make very, very valid points. I like the connection between these waves, because we go through these stages in life where we think things are one way, and then life's up on us, and we see that was not the case, and we needed a space to kind of grow and flex these different muscles that we've been building.
Yeah, and you can't control or contain the waves. The waves come, and your job is just move with or against if you don't want to. I mean, you don't have to.
Hey, you swag and surf.
Yeah.
Watch me surf. Man, I got that. Okay.
The Negro spiritual thing.
Right. So we kind of hitting on some of this, though, in terms of going to our next question of what has this work taught you about yourself? And we're kind of hitting on what we've learned with these waves and about surfing and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So what my big thing is, I've learned that, like, to a great degree, that I actually need people, and that's okay. And not just anybody, but like a specific environment for me to actually thrive. I definitely grew up like as an only child, even though I definitely had my cousins, those are my siblings, through and through. However, something I think as a survival technique that I definitely inherited from my mom is a mentality around like this solitary bird or lone wolf type of thing. And maybe in certain environments, that may be what you need when it's not safe, but also what I've learned from this work is just how the power of community is ridiculous. And you got to have that because you're not going to have everything all yourself. Yeah.
I would say that this work has taught me to be open. I'd always considered myself somebody who was like a free spirit and all of that. And I think that is true to an extent, but I also had to be realistic with myself. I like a certain portion of control. and knowing that about myself, healing is not controlled. It is not a variable. I cannot put an if, then. I cannot hypothesize around it. I had to be fully prepared and open to be immersed in this once I decided that I was going to lean into what was being presented to me. So that itself came with a little hesitation, but I feel now that I'm in a place to fully embrace it because I've just moved differently, even with being in the center. Because when I first joined, it was like a remote thing. They didn't know who was doing these e-blasts. I was just sending
this girl.
Right, I was just sending them out. And then when I decided to lean in and get to know the wonderful community that was here for me, that's when I developed these other attributes and these relationships. And, I come around for shits and giggles, and it works.
I think the work has taught me that this has been inside of me all along. I felt like
what the after school special just happened here?
I know.
I think that's true.
I think that there has been a part of me that wanted to express herself so fully. And for so long, it was contained by so many different things.
That's real.
And it is just for me returning back. We talk about like what is healing, back to my whole self, my well self, my most authentic self. And this work has helped me to rediscover her. That one.
It makes your heart glow.
It does.
She's smiling very good. We're going to have to start having video recordings and shit.
Yeah,
I think that is spot on. I do think this work feels very familiar.
Yes.
In a sense that maybe in a different lifetime, we were already doing this.
Yes.
And so for us to have found our group, our tribe again, for us to have found each other again in this space and time, it just proves that, you know, we are not linear and that you know, things persist.
Yes.
And the work will get done.
Yes. Yes.
So in saying that, where are you in your healing journey today?
That deserves some silence, y'all. Hold on.
Well, journey is key, because even in this realization of returning back to who I am, it's still a journey. And while I have overcome many hurdles, there are still mountains yet to climb. But I feel like I feel more confident in climbing that mountain because I have seen where I've come, from where I have come, and I am confident in the support system around me, and my own connection to the divine, to ancestors. You know, this is, you know, I'm saying this in the height of a optimistic frame of being today, which if I'm having a bad day, I will have to remind myself today just happens to be a good day, where I'm optimistic and hopeful. But it is a journey, but it's one for me worth pursuing.
So where I am in this healing journey, I'm gonna stick with this wave situation, right? I am at a point where I recognize that I no longer view waves as just happening to me. And to a great degree, I welcome them and I can see them. And also, I don't fully see myself as separate from the wave. It's getting deep, y'all. So in that, I am also a co-contributor, co-creator of the waves, you know, and so the big splashes and all that other stuff. So instead of riding, catching this wave when it comes, I'm part of the water, right? And so with that, and also seeing that it's also about future generations too. As I'm the wave creating this, the ripples and the movements that's happening, that anything that I am doing in collaboration with everyone else in this work on Earth right now, how that is creating that build up for the big waves that happen for like future generations. And so I kind of feel in this space, which I'm with you, Lauren. Some days it feels like fuck. But overall, I really am in a place where I feel very connected to shifts and waves, and to a great degree, enjoy them. Enjoy the challenge and the awkwardness and not knowing what the hell. Yeah, all that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the freedom of flexibility. I mean, with this wave, this expansion, I mean, we want to, in our minds, we feel like, I want to be more flexible. But with flexibility, there's some uncertainty that you have to be flexible with.
Right.
So will you be okay with this wave when you don't see it coming?
Right. And I'm somebody who also, it's taken me a while to admit, but I love control.
Yes.
And everything like that. However, and maybe that's the way I tricked myself into think of it. I'm like, hey, but you're a part of this craziness. It's okay. But for real, like, it's like, all right, now lean in. Yeah. Open up, be vulnerable to expansion.
Yeah, I would say where I am currently, I'm still learning and still adding tools to this healing journey or toolkit. So like a lot of things are healed or in the process of healing, but within that, here comes something else unexpected. And it might not even be for me. It might not be something within me. It it could be somebody close to me, but you know, we surround ourselves with pieces of ourselves and reflections are things where we need to grow in. So somebody I might know and they see something in me that needs to be healed, or vice versa. And so now we are in tandem and tethering together. This whole wave thing, I think, is
the ripples.
It's permeating.
Because you went to Cabo.
Yeah, right.
And we want to be around water.
Right.
Shit. Okay. What I was gonna say, I tried jet skiing for the first time, and it was terrifying. But even with it being terrifying, I did it. I didn't go over 20 miles an hour. Like some of my comrades was doing 70 and doing donuts.
I'm sorry, what?
Doing donuts and all of that, splashing me in the face, and I was like, God love you. Go with peace. My intention was to support my friend on her birthday and get on this water motorbike. And having to be mindful that, hey girl, you are not the strongest swimmer. This is the ocean. It will swallow you.
Yeah, catch them waves.
Yes. You'll catch every fade, every wave that the ocean can throw at you. But I had to be mindful that you have to stay in your lane. You can only do what you have the bandwidth to do. So I would even translate that to this healing journey. We don't know everything. Yeah. It's impossible to know everything and to know all of what needs to be healed within us and with those around us. All we can do is operate from our point of reference, from our intelligence, and know when we need to lean out to our community and for understanding and for assistance. And I feel like that's part of the second question and this question. So that's what I've learned and where I am. So, yeah.
All right. Well, this was a good one. So thank you to everyone for listening in on this particular episode as we covered as far as like how we came into this healing work. We would also like to pose these same questions to you. How did you come to this healing work? What has this work taught you about yourself? And where are you in your healing journey? So again, like I said, thank you for joining us here. Please do holler back at us, though, because we would love to hear your thoughts, questions, and responses to our discussions and everything that we've covered here. So how do you do that, though? You want to interact with us on Facebook and or Instagram at Empower Institute. So at and then I-N Power, P-O-W-E-R, and Institute. I don't feel like spelling that. All right, so at Empower Institute. Be sure to visit our website now, because we're going to check. Website at www.empowerinstitute.com. So yeah, holler back and we will respond to you. Trust and believe. All right, stay tuned for the next episode. See you.
Bye.